older generations in general, elders of communities, had this notion of work hard now so my children or my grandchildren can be better off.
Yes.
And that was seen as a win, right? Like even something just as far as being a janitor for 20 years, being a, even though, okay,
server.
Yeah, you know what I mean, for a decade or two,
yeah.
just so my son or daughter can get through school or learn how to read, what I mean?
Develop a skill. Real life skill.
Right. And then take that, go out, get a partner in life and advance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And advance. And then even with that being the case, the Christmas spirit at that time, let's say it was, okay, mom and dad couldn't do much, but they did what they could. And then when they do finally hit you with something, it's like, okay, great, we appreciate that. Whereas nowadays, it might be a kid asked for a particular Jordan or Nike shoe or something like that, and mom, probably single in a lot of cases, unfortunately.
Which is extremely sad.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. She got you a Jordan or Nike shoe, but she got you the 1s instead of the 13s, or the 2s instead of the 3s, and you hate her. Oh, you're dumb, mom. Why would you get me the 3s instead of the 2s? You're stupid, mom.
That's as a child, man. That's where growing up. That's when you realize, like me personally, I've had a lot of Christmases stolen from me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My parents struggled with addiction, and my dad fell apart at this time of the year. And what he would do is he would steal all the Christmas presents and go sell them to make himself feel better. And experiencing that as a kid, and not having any type of Christmas, that makes you so happy for whatever you do get. You know? And I'm somebody who's born right after Christmas, a little bit after. Sometimes I got my Christmas with my birthday. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So for the families or, the moms and dads that, struggle to get those things by a deadline, because they're trying to be a part of this holiday, as a kid, when my parents said, listen, we don't have this right now, I want to give this to you when I can, don't be mad at me, I've had that humbling experience, and I never hated my parents for that, and saying, like, for the kids growing up right now, it is so hard for y'all. It is so hard. Like, you're constantly connected to the internet, right? And you're constantly connected to this internet with a comparison ideology of saying, I need to look as good as the next person.
Right.
I need to have the things that this person has, or I won't be liked.
Right.
And that's not how life works.
Right.
I'd rather be loved by myself than, hated by myself. And that's a good place to start.
Right. That's a good point, actually, because I'm not sure the average person is really concerned about themselves in that sense, where they even understand the concept of a self, you know what I mean, and being responsible for yourself at any particular age group, especially when you're a teenager, preteen, you know what I mean, you got a lot of pressure from
the external world and the inside world.
Yeah, because the inside is doing things that you may not even be aware of, you know what I mean, and it's going places and taking you places that you may not even be aware of, and probably aren't in a lot of cases, but when you are at some point, I tend to think that when you're young, especially with the world being as hyper pressurized as it is, you gotta be given some sort of a excuse for that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot you don't know.
Right. It's an overstimulating environment, flashing lights, loud noises, and for somebody who's growing up, stepping into that for the first time, it's gonna rock you.
Right. And then you got peer pressure. You got people in
positions of power trying to dictate your way of thinking.
Yeah, you know what I mean. High multi-billion-dollar marketing campaigns to promote certain products, and then when you're young, you're very easily influenceable. So it wouldn't be tough to associate your happiness to convince you, right? Because at the end of the day, we're making decisions. But the campaigns are seeking, the marketing campaigns are seeking to convince us that we have to connect our humanity to these things. You know what I mean?
When it should be the opposite, right?
Right.
It should be humanity looking at these ideas and saying, I want to put in on this.
Right, because
You know
I
what I mean?
believe in it, and it can go beyond me, and it can survive me, and it can help other humans after me.